is right.
Don't even complain about the smell. Oh my god.
Splendid.
Oh my god.
Hey, sorry that those accommodations aren't the stuff, but.
Just talk down there.
No, I'm busy.
I actually told that to
Different
Mike.
temperature.
I said, the boardroom was like at 5 o'clock. I wonder what it's like at the annex.
I walked in here and I'm like, oh my god, it feels so good.
Go to the basement, it's incredible. Like I'm ready to move my office to the basement. Oh, sorry, the garden level. Not the basement. Go to the data center.
Oh, Polanco. I was like, who's having a baby?
Yeah, that's a
I
bad.
guess they did.
Oh, you can. That's a hot one.
No, nobody's in there.
I do think Jake has gotten better, but I just want you up here like 11 or 1 or pretty heavy.
I mean, if somebody makes a complaint, I'm not going to go on.
I saw where they're working.
I think it feels great here.
Years in his basketball shorts. It was like, it's okay, I'm here.
I don't want to have to double smell what you're smelling.
Well,
Oh, really?
I'll just take your word for it.
okay.
No,
Crank
we
it up.
did make some adjustments though.
Hey, it's cold tomorrow.
The other thing that we didn't do, so we usually,
Is that because you got robbed?
the outside air,
Our church is like the top on church.
60 degrees or more,
There's a lot of.
it'll bring, so we gotta make an adjustment. So in the summer, we lower that down so that it doesn't bring it right. Nobody made that adjustment. We made that adjustment this morning.
I'm glad I made the phone call. Sorry for you.
Well, and actually, Barb beat you to it. She texted me at 5:30.
Oh, Barb this morning. But she knew too. See, I'm not the only one. I like her. She knows.
5 o'clock.
We already know.
I don't know what musty smells like anymore. It's just
Just normal. Well, it's not bad, you're welcome to serve what's just let me do.
Oh, they just keep going through them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, shoot him over.
So we found out.
It's 5 o'clock. I'll call the June 9th Steele County Board meeting to order and ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would be one addition to the agenda, be under number 15, cannabis ordinance. Could there be any more additions or anything?
No, there's not.
Board wishes.
Chair, make a motion to approve the agenda with the additions number 15.
I'll second that. Motion and second, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion carries.
Good idea, we're gonna have you.
Her timing was perfect.
Oh, wow, okay, grand entrance.
For presentation, we have Southern Minnesota Initiative Fund, Speaker Benya Kraus, President and CEO.
I'm gonna give you the mouse so that you can just roll down through your presentation.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well,
Unless you want me to do it, you can just go next slide, what would you prefer?
it's really just.
You can
a fact
multitask?
sheet and you just, so I can probably do that, yeah. Great, how's that? Okay, well, you know what, and you've probably seen some of these before, but let me get you just an updated folder packet as well.
Were you waiting outside the door then, or what was happening?
I, drove in from Mankato and came over from the office, so it's been a road warrior day a little bit.
Time is good.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you for having me, and this is actually a very special meeting because it's almost about my 1-year anniversary and as president CEO, and so I think during my first several weeks in the job is when I showed up and spoke to you last year. So this feels like a reunion a little bit and a way to mark 1 year. So thank you for your support over the past year, but also for the past 40 years too, as we've been celebrating our 40th anniversary this year at Smith. Just as a recap and reminder, I took over for Tim Penny about a year ago now. I call both Waseca and Thailand home, so my family's been farming in Waseca County for the past 6 generations. My husband and I, in August, actually moved out to Harmony. He works in private manufacturing down in Decorah. So we also cover the southeast of the region, now home too. Smith, we serve all 20 counties, and a little bit of a special sweet spot here in Steele County because our headquarters are, as you know, just down the road. So I just want to share a little bit of an update of some of the work we've done here in Steele County, and also just be able to answer any questions that you all might have, and if there's opportunities for us to come alongside even more deeply as a partner with you all too. So Smith, as you all know, is a regional community foundation serving 20 counties in southern Minnesota. And our key focus areas has been focusing on supporting small towns, investing in early childhood, and strengthening the entrepreneurship community as well across southern Minnesota. So those are our 3 focus areas, and we've been doing that through both grant making, bringing community partners together, providing and supporting training to build the capacity of both childcare providers and entrepreneurs so they are set up to succeed, and also through lending as well. And so over the past 40 years, we've invested over $12 million through 470 grants, 75 loans, and here in Steele County in just the past 3 years, we've reinvested about $827,000 back into Steele County. So for those of you who like, the leverage on your return on your dollar, that's about, for every $1 invested from Steele County, from your all's investment, we've seen $10 in the return back into the county specifically. A lot of effort has been made in the early childhood space. We often host our big provider trainings out at the Owatonna High School, and that draws from all over the region, but specifically here in Steele County, we see a lot of providers local to the area. And we've, through our grant making, supported partners like United Way, Owatonna Schools, the Steele County Public Health as well, with early literacy grants, and provide also technical assistance to child care providers too. With our partner First Children's Finance, we cover and pay for any technical assistance, helping them understand their financials, how to be sustainable in an industry that is quite hard to keep child care centers open and growing. So that's on the child care space. On the business and lending space too, we've done a lot of work in Blooming Prairie, especially with the Main Street Revitalization Grant, that we were the kind of intermediary organization for DEED to be able to get those state dollars to support Main Street businesses in Blooming Prairie. So that's businesses like Tone Music, Trash Titans, Bro Trucking, and then as well in the county, we are the backbone supporter of the Ellendale Community Foundation. So we've provided several matching grants to help them get started and grow their endowment, and those residents in Ellendale are then able to make grants as well for what the community needs to see. So that's part of our small town vitality work. We have about 35 community foundations under the Smith umbrella. So I'll pause there, but just want to say thank you for your continued investment. I know the county's been very supportive of the $6,000 annual contribution, and we hope you'll consider that same amount as we go into this next, budgeting year for you all. And I'll pause there, but happy to answer both any questions you have. I see you're looking at our Acres for Good brochure, so happy to talk about that too. That's actually me in the front with my cousin Jason on our family farm, so that was a fun thing. Oh, you know him? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yes, yeah. I mean, Owatonna resident for sure. So yeah, I'll pause there, but thank you again just for your continued investment and contribution to the foundation.
Any questions? Well, thank you.
Awesome. any stories about Jason I can take back home.
Not that
No,
I-
off the record, yeah.
Tell her.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for giving space in your agenda. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Have a good evening.
Yes.
Really quite miss that presentation.
No, it was just 2 pages, maybe we could have done it differently.
Next, we have public comment. If you wish to share your thoughts, please provide your name and address after being acknowledged by the board chair. Each speaker has 2 minutes to express their remarks. Stowe County promotes both respect in both its work environment and boardroom. Speakers shall maintain dignity and show respect towards others. Comments should be directed to the entire board, not to an individual commissioner, official, or staff. The board chair may limit comments if they are argumentative, disrespectful, or redundant. Please avoid name calling or abusive language. This may result in being asked to return to your seat or leave the boardroom. No action will be taken on items presented during the public comment period unless they are on the agenda. The board may refer some inquiries to the county administrator for follow-up. Is there any public comment at this time? Is there any public comment at this time? Seeing none, is there any correspondence?
None this evening.
Consent agenda, board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the consent agenda as printed. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve the nonprofit community partner award recommendations. Ethan.
You only gotta vote once this week.
Alright, so the nonprofit community partner awards, that's, a portion of the appropriations, $50,000. That goes through this kind of special process through public health, to solicit a request for proposals from all nonprofits in the county. They submit an application, we do a review process, and then make recommendations. The main change from last year to this year is just we're doing a reimbursement process rather than paying it out upfront. Otherwise, it's essentially the same process as last year. We'll have them come to report to the board at a board meeting, work session early next year. So in your packet, I included all of the applications we received. Alphabetical order. So first we have the Crisis Resource Center in Steele County. They requested $10,000, and our review team is recommending to fund that full $10,000. It would go to support the domestic violence program, which is a unique program in the county. They offer 24/7 crisis support services to victims of child abuse, domestic abuse, and sexual assault. The expenses that would be covered include staff time, really printing expenses for the safety plans, mileage reimbursement to serve the clients, and then a portion of their emergency crisis line expense. And then we received 2 applications from the Exchange Club Center for Family Unity for 2 separate projects. So the first project, they requested $5,000, and we are recommending funding that $5,000. This is to support their new restorative family mediation program. So it's a pilot project that they're implementing this year, getting staff trained on it. So really the expenses would be the staff time, laptops for the new program staff, some marketing materials to promote the program, and then some continual staff training. Their second request was for $10,000 to support their parent mentor program. The review team is recommending not funding that. Just due to some of the overlap with our own family health programs and public health, we see this as a really great opportunity to work with the Exchange Club further to identify what population they're serving, we're serving, and really kind of coordinate to make sure we're not duplicating. Healthy Seniors of Steele County requested $10,000, and we are recommending funding that $10,000. This would be to create a new social activities and community awareness program. So this is really, switching gears from kind of that continual asking for $10,000 to maintain their services to trying something new, which is something we encourage. And so this program would really proactively reach older adults, strengthen community connections, and expand access to services. The expenses include staff time to really set up and get this program running, supplies for some of the monthly activities for the seniors in the program, marketing materials, mileage, and then some training expenses for volunteers to help support. Let's Smile requested $10,000. The review team is recommending funding $7,500 of that. This would be to support the school-based dental outreach program, serving children and teens in the county without private dental insurance. Then this would include some staff time, mostly the clinical dental supplies, and then the oral hygiene, kind of toothbrushes and that kind of stuff that get out to the students at the outreach events. SEMCAC also submitted 2 applications for 2 separate projects. The first one was for the Rolling Hills volunteer drivers and Rolling Hills mobility programs. So they requested $5,000 for that. The team is recommending to fund $1,000 similar to last year for the volunteer mileage reimbursement. And then the second application was $10,000 was requested. The team's recommending to fund $9,000 of that. That's for their senior programs, the senior nutrition program, and the senior caregiver advocacy program.
Ethan, I have a quick question. I'm gonna move back up to Let's Smile.
Yeah.
I know she's expanded her program well beyond Steele County.
Right.
Do you know, does she go to other counties and that and request funding?
I'm not sure.
Okay. That might be a question you want to ask, because I know she goes Rice County, Sika County. She's expanded a lot beyond. She's in 40-some schools, if I remember right.
I know the funding we awarded last year and would award, I recommend to award this year,
Yeah.
would be just for steel
Yeah.
programs and steel.
But it would be nice to know if she's tapping the other ones
Yeah.
too. So, thank you.
So then for SEMCAC senior services programs, that would primarily go to staff time for the senior caregiver advocacy program, and then the waiver meal support. They only get reimbursed a certain amount for the free senior meals. So the funding would fill that gap between what's reimbursed and what the actual cost of the waiver meals are. Steele County Transitional Housing requested $10,000. The review team's recommending not to fund that. This would have gone to support eviction prevention, first month rent damage deposits, but seeing that we have the local homeless prevention aid that is funding a lot of that, we decided not to recommend funding this. The Lighthouse of Southern Minnesota requested $10,000. The team is recommending funding $7,500 of that, and this would be for a new housing stabilization program. So really building some curriculum for skill building groups and leveraging the peer support specialists that they've recently added to their staff to help single men and women experiencing homelessness, so we're not duplicating with the local homeless prevention aid. And then the United Way of Steele County requested $10,000. The team is recommending not funding this request. This would be for a new community stability navigation and wraparound support program. Kind of similar to the exchange code. This is another area that public health does have a lot of work in. We're having conversations with the New Human Services Department about this community resource navigation piece. So we just felt it was premature to award to kind of pilot that program out, but definitely we'll keep United Way in mind as a partner as we're developing what that will look like for the county.
Any questions for Ethan? Board wishes?
Mr. Chair, I'll move we approve the public health to award the appropriations fund as presented.
Second.
With our thank you for doing a good job.
Motion and a second to approve the nonprofit community partner awards. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. You want to stay up here because we're on number 15, the cannabis ordinance. We discussed this in work session, and we need to make a decision as far as which avenue you guys want to go.
And then, Mr. Chair, for clarity, for minute taking, if you are recommending the version with the church setback, if you would refer to that as version 2 with church setback. If you are recommending, or if the motion is to approve the first version without the church, if you would just say version 1.
Mr. Chair,
Board's wishes, Jim.
make a motion to approve version 2 with the church setback.
That's a more restrictive. I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next, number 16, June employee anniversaries. Oh, Bobby.
Once again, you get me tonight. Sioux County anniversary report for June, so with names, position, department, years of service. We have Teresa Dudley, who is our victim service coordinator with the attorney's office. She's been here for 22 years. Steve Schroep is our director of park and recreation, and he has been here for 30 years. Allie Ellingson is our GIS technician within GIS and has been here for 2 years. Anthony Butera is the Sioux County jail administrator for the detention center, 19 years of service. Travis Avalar is a correctional officer, also at the detention center, 19 years of service. Rob Jarrett, county attorney, is coming up on year 2 here. Kendall Housh, chief deputy attorney with the attorney's office, 4 years of service. Nikki Miller is a custodian with facilities and fleet, 4 years of service. Jordan Williams is an appraiser with the assessor's office and just hit 1 year of service. Tanner Wabshaw, maintenance worker with facilities and fleet, 13 years of service. Tara Pitzel, adult probation officer 2 with community corrections, 9 years. Renee Fry, county administrator with administration, just hit 2 years of service. Kristen Saylor is our emergency and risk management director with emergency management at 5 years. Karen Meyer is an administrative assistant for the sheriff at 28 years of service. Tim Larson is a landfill operator with the landfill, 16 years of service. Chris Robertson is an accountant with the highway, just hit 1 year of service this month. Carson Bieglund is a deputy sheriff patrol with the sheriff's office, 2 years of service. Sarah Danielson, adult probation officer 1 with community corrections, 2 years. Sierra Gleason, engineer tech 2 with the highway department, 3 years of service. And Katya Krieger, correctional officer with the detention center, is at 3 years of service, so 187 years this month.
That's amazing.
It is. It's a lot of years of service.
A lot of people this month.
It's a lot.
Yep, I'd like to congratulate them people on their years of service and thank them for their continued dedication to Sioux County. Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Next, number 17, adopt resolution 2026-35, the forum of Steele County Community Health Day. Welcome.
We were wondering if you let the students or something.
All right, so as you recall, last November, we moved forward to approve the separation of Dodge Steele CHB. And Amy Evans and I have been meeting regularly with the Department of Health, and next steps now are to adopt a resolution to set up us as a separate CHB to Health Board. So that's what I am requesting, is to move that forward. And then, we also have to appoint an agent or a Community Health Board, administrator, which is typically the director of nursing, of the department. So 2 resolutions, one to set up Steele County CHB, and one to appoint, the agent or administrator.
Which would be you. Alright. Any questions for Amber? I guess we'll do number 17, adopt the resolution 2026-35, to form the Steele County Community Health Board. Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the resolution.
I'll second.
The resolution's been offered and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just my thanks for the way you and Amy are working together to get this all handled. It seems like it's just as smooth as can be, and we know that you two will be working together even after it's separated, but it's just going really well.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll offer the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All same sign, the resolution passes. Number 18, adopt resolution 2026-33, appointing Amber Asset as the agent for Steele County Community Health Board. Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I will move that resolution.
Second. Resolution's been offered and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'm just asking, are we contemplating appointing any other members? Or are we not doing that? Because the statute has that we have 5 members on the
That's,
joint powers, or on the, is that only for joint powers?
that's for joint, yeah, that's for joint powers, yeah.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All same sign, resolution passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Number 19, next is to approve the final payment to JD Driver LTD for the Steele County Sheriff's Office renovation project of amount of $745,029.
Good evening, Commissioners. So JD Driver was awarded the contract for the Steele County Sheriff's Addition Office or renovation project in the amount of $4,284,000. The project is complete with all the punch list, items and all closeout documents accounted for. The final contract amount after the change orders was $4,623,309. So with that, I'd like to recommend approval of the final payment to JD Driver for the Steele County Sheriff's Addition and renovation project in the amount of $745,029.
Any questions for Jake? Board wishes.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion.
State the motion.
Motion is to approve the final payment to JD Driver LTD for the Steele County Sheriff's Addition and renovation project in the amount of $745,029.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to abstain from the vote.
Mr. Brady abstaining. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Number 20, approve real estate purchase agreement and lease with 213 South Old Street and authorize county administrator to sign.
Members
Renee?
of the board, as you recall, we had a closed session 2 weeks ago where the board gave direction to the county attorney and myself to enter into negotiations for the purchase of that building for a price not to exceed $900,000. Before you this evening is a purchase agreement and a proposed lease, because as you recall, there's a communication center portion of the project that MetroNet wanted to be able to lease back. There is language in your agenda packet in both the lease and in the purchase agreement that's in green font because we did not have final approval from the seller on those 2 provisions. The first was the payment of the property taxes And I think we were arguing semantics because they were arguing tax year 2025. I was saying taxes payable in 2026. And so they were agreeable to our language, which is any taxes that are due and payable in 2026, the seller pays 100% of. So they're okay with that. So that was the language in green in the purchase agreement. Otherwise, all of the terms and conditions met with our approval as well as the seller's approval. And then in the lease agreement, there is some language in green having to do with assignment. And there we indicated that if they wanted to transfer that lease to a parent or a subsidiary, that they could do so. However, if they were to transition it to a whole new company through sale or other form of acquisition, that Steele County wanted the right to be able to review that transaction and give approval, and that our approval would not be unreasonably withheld. And they did approve that language as of yesterday morning. So we are now in final agreement as to both forms. The plan would be to close on June 29th so that we could have a recordable deed in hand in time for that July 1 deadline, so that our portion of the project would be tax exempt. We will do one more final walkthrough immediately prior to closing to make sure that the property is in the condition as it was revealed to us last Thursday. We walked it, it had not changed since we had been on premise last fall. We did have some really good conversation with some of their local staff people in terms of information that could be shared, plans and specs if they exist, they're willing to share. So I think that transition will go smoothly, but there are some items they need to remove, specifically papers of their own clients. So I said, we're not touching that, so that's why I want to go back through the property one last time to make sure that those items have been removed. Otherwise, we are accepting the property as is. So I don't know if County Attorney Jarrett wants to say anything, but I am recommending to the board that we approve the purchase agreement with the attached lease as well as the visual that describes the portion that they're leasing, and give me the authority to sign that and then begin preparations for closing.
Just on the lease and the purchase agreement, Renee did a lot of the heavy lifting on those issues. We did go back and forth on some additional terms and so forth. So I think this is agreeable between the parties. Sets the county up for success moving forward. It also provides remedies and really help outlays minds the expectations for this divided property moving forward. And so I would ask, or I would recommend adopting the purchase agreement as well as the lease.
Mr. Chair? So the triple net lease, is that what we landed?
Absolutely.
Furniture and fixtures,
They stay?
All ours.
all stays. Okay. So then, and do we want to, does somebody want to talk about how we ended up here and why?
Just in terms of background, particularly for those in the public that may not be privy, the board has been talking about a master facilities plan for quite some time, but really the condition of the county attorney building has been an ongoing area of concern. At least for the 2 years that I've been in this particular role. It is a former funeral home, not nursing home, funeral home with an attached residence. The attached residence has not been usable in any shape or fashion for quite some time. The funeral home portion has been adapted for office purposes, but we've literally burst at the seams. We don't really have the ability to support our summer interns and really our student attorneys that we've been using, and so we've actually been converting our meeting spaces into office spaces. We've been doubling people up. We've got one person in the hall. And so this was definitely an area that we needed to address as a county. Some of the options that the board was presented with a couple of months ago included a very expensive addition to the courthouse, rebuilding on site a structure very similar to the county attorney's building, but at a price tag of about $6,000, and that, $6 million, boy, brain's not working, about $6 million, but it would also require temporary placement of our county attorney somewhere else with additional cost and expense because you're renovating on premise. And then this particular property came up for sale last fall. We looked at it with the eye that it had not only adequate space for the county attorney's complement of staff and attorneys, but there's also additional space that as we move into the human services arena, that there would be housing for child support as well as other county facilities or services as may be needed. There's a heated garage with a mezzanine. that could provide us with some much needed storage and maybe some other more adaptable uses at a price of, last fall it was quite a bit higher, but the price that we've agreed to is $900,000. So we're able to meet our county attorney's current space needs, providing for what I think to be some lovely expansion space, bringing back the meeting rooms, the ability to meet with witnesses and victims in a very safe and secure place. So I do think it was a great option within walking distance of the courthouse. We're not aware of any other buildings that would be as equally applicable or suitable. So I think it was a wonderful opportunity. And so when we reached out to the agent, we found some willingness to have the conversations we needed to be assured of the things that the county needed to protect its interest. And even though there was some back and forth, it was always with the spirit of cooperation, because this was really a good choice and a good fit for the county.
If I can just add a couple other things to that, it gives us much needed parking space at the courthouse, which we're extremely lacking in. And second of all, at a minimum, it saves the taxpayers in excess of $3 million. And gives us a good quality building to house the county attorney's office. And with that, I will move that we accept the purchase agreement and lease for 213 South Oak Avenue, not street, with the terms that be changed in the commercial lease, because it's listed as South Oak Street in there too, not Avenue. So
With the authorizing the
maybe
administrators.
we need to finalize the sale.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. And there's informational items in your packet, property and maintenance committee minutes from June 2nd, and extension committee minutes from May 27th. Next is commissioner reports. Rob, do you have any reports?
Yeah, last night I attended the planning and zoning board meeting. There's been, the board had last meeting some discussions regarding IOPs and COPs, specifically in gravel pits. One idea we came up with to develop a policy, and we did input, so we started that discussion last night. I believe it was a fruitful discussion. There's obviously opinions on multiple sides and different areas. So one recommendation I had or idea was to have a joint work session with the Planning and Zoning Commission to develop a policy for the county. Ultimately, it's the county board that needs to make that policy. One of the other avenues is use staff as a kind of go between the board and the planning and zoning. That's another option. But frankly, I think there's just some strong opinions that probably best to be handled in person. That way we don't have to be the go-betweens. Because there's also, staff also has opinions on this matter as well. And then they conflict with members of planning and zoning as well as the commissioners. So, nothing was decided, but I do believe that there's another pick that's coming forward at a future meeting that the board will make a decision on preparing bonding. So, it's not an issue that's going to go away, and we should deal with it manner so that it's equal and fair for all in this county. Nonetheless, that's all the updates I have. Thank you.
Craig?
June 1st, we had a District 9 meeting in Casson. The 2nd, we had property and maintenance. On the 3rd, we gave a tour of the county to our new Human Services Director. On the 4th, I had South Country Health Alliance Joint Powers Board. On the 5th, I had South Country Health Alliance Quality Committee. Yesterday, on the 8th, I had the Southeast Minnesota Emergency Communications Board, and the school mapping project is well underway. They're very pleased with the progress, and I was gonna call Kristen today, and I didn't get a chance to find out where we were at in the scheme of things, but I know she had everything into them, so I think we're pretty well along the way. And then we had our budget work session before the work session, before the meeting.
Thank you. Jim?
On the 27th of May, I had a joint task meeting, and I had the extension meeting also. On the 28th, I had a facilities planning meeting. On the 1st was District 9 at Dodge Center. And the 2nd was property and maintenance. On the 3rd was 911. On the 8th was planning and zoning. And I had a CIP meeting and work session before this meeting today.
Thank you. Renee?
I've been meeting with Ashley and Gina with all of the department heads. I think we're roughly halfway through the departments. And we'll continue to meet with them over the next roughly week and a half, going through their budgets item by item, line by line. The board saw the CIP proposals coming out of each of those departments. So that work Ashley tried to get done well in advance of the individual department meetings so that we would have something for you. Obviously Bennett Hoffman had his first week, so there was a fair number of meetings that I was involved with, but he also had a fair number without me. But it was very much a human services week, and then obviously finalizing the Oak Avenue property documents, so been kind of busy.
Thank you. Jim?
Alright, 27th, a joint task force meeting with the city, OPU, school, and county. June 1st, the District 9 meeting in Casson. June 3rd, the Rice Steel 911 Joint Powers Board meeting. And June 9th, today, our CIP meeting and work session.
Thank you. Josh?
On the 8th, I had SEMCAC. This morning, we had the Public Works Committee meeting and CIP budget meeting before this, and the work session.
Thank you. I also attended the Extension Committee meeting, the Public Works meeting, the CIP meeting earlier in the work session. This time I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you for coming.
I don't know if you had any questions about these or wanted to ask.
Just see those numbers? Yeah.
Some are versus
Did they share?